Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, September 7th, 2017. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines stands committed to the diplomatic relations it has with the people and government of Brazil. That's the sentiment shared today as the Embassy of Brazil held a ceremony in commemoration of independence of the South American country. Brazilian Ambassador Antonio de Castro stated that the Brazilian government is elated at the continued strengthening of relations with countries such as St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The principle of regional integration is entrenched in the Brazilian Constitution, and our permanent national goals include international solidarity and development cooperation in all its forms. These are state policies and are not subject to political circumstances regardless of the party in power. Brazil is very grateful to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the support given to its candidates and interests in international fora. We hope to maintain and strengthen the existing political dialogue and find new areas of mutual understanding in the face of a rapidly changing world characterized by new unilateral temptations that may adversely affect the economic and commercial interests of our region.
Also making remarks was Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonçalves, who stated that Brazil and SVG share a similar path, adding that the government of SVG will continue to explore possible avenues of investment with Brazil.
And whatever political leadership your country puts forward, that is the political leadership with which we connect, and we are bound to within the constitution of your country. And diplomats all over the world may have preferences one way or the other, and politicians also have preferences. But at the end of the day, we are all bound by a set of principles and rules, and we follow them. And I want to speak to the people of Brazil and to say to them that our relations are strong and growing. I visited Brazil on several occasions. I also led a mission there in Sao Paulo with Invest SVG to see if we can drum up investments. We are always looking for investments in manufacturing, in hotel, tourism, and the like. And we're still on the hunt for Brazil.
PM Gonçalves also expressed confidence in the continued relationship with the South American country and expressed gratitude as Brazil has chosen to use its international clout to represent the interests of small developing nations such as SVG.
When you see Brazil, you see Brazil as a country of real clout and significance, not just in this hemisphere, but in the world. And we are pleased that under Lula's leadership, it was a dear friend of mine, that he chose to establish a diplomatic presence in each of the countries of the Caribbean in that outreach, and I thank him and the Brazilian government and people very much. So, to Brazil and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Cheers.
Cheers.
PM Gonçalves is optimistic that the Black Sands Hotel project in the Peters Hope area will get underway very soon and finish on time. Dr. Gonçalves, who was speaking on Boom FM on Wednesday, stated the proposals for the architectural designs have already been submitted and it is about the selection process now.
I think they got two sets of proposals, conceptual proposals, from two firms of architects, one locally and one overseas. And they're about to, either they've made or about to make their choice. So that they'll be doing their designs and putting all their things in, all their ducks in a row. The lease spoke about a commencement of the project within a year of the signing of the lease. And of course they've started to doing some things. they did clearing and then they put bulldozers, but I think that the persons who advised them on how to use the bulldozer and where to put them probably advised them not so correctly.
According to the Prime Minister, the developers have a year before they can start the project and 5 years in entirety to complete the hotel resort.
I suspect that they'll meet their deadline, but the agreement says that if you haven't met the specific deadline when you're starting and you have to complete within 5 years, you can get extensions. Now, I would say their appointment, having studied the various conceptual design and the appointment of an architectural firm, would be a very good sign that they're on to business. No. I was hoping that they would have moved faster, but I will tell you this: with a number of projects, including government projects, sometimes all sort of snafus arise of one kind or another, which may be outside of your control. So I am not condemnatory, but I'm saying that I would like to see more speed.
As it relates to the closed Buckermans Bay Resort, PM Gonzalez said that the trustees have received several proposals for development and the government has also placed a bid.
Over the last few weeks, I have had very important discussions with Mr. Brian Glasgow, who, as you know, is the trustee in bankruptcy. And there are several proposals before him. We in the government had put a proposal to assist when people from KPMG, the accounting firm, the auditing firm, which are the trustees, and they came from other parts of the Caribbean. I put a proposal to them, and I'm waiting sometime until just after the middle of this month when a report would be made to the court, and I expect that a proposal will be endorsed by the court. There are 4 entities which have expressed an interest, and I think 2 or 3 of the 4 have put in firm proposals. That's my understanding.
With over 4,000 persons here receiving some form of public assistance, Minister of Social Development Frederick Stevenson said his government will continue to give to those most in need, answering a question put forward in Parliament recently by Opposition Senator Dr. Jules Ferdinand as to how much persons are receiving public assistance in the country and how many were added on to the program since January. Minister Stevenson noted that there were just over 400 additional persons.
4,673 persons are presently on public assistance. These include the elderly, the indigent, persons with disabilities, and to some extent children who have lost their parents. How many of these were added since January 2016, Mr. Speaker? 219 persons were added since January. 434 persons were added since January 2016, Mr. Speaker. On the public assistance, when persons die, their names are removed. If children would have gotten past the age of 18 years old and out of school, their names are removed from the list.
While he pointed out that there are different forms of assistance allocated to persons to the less fortunate and elderly, the minister then gave a breakdown of the number of persons receiving public assistance in the 15 constituencies across the country.
Monthly expenditure in this regard, Mr. Speaker, as of August 2017, 4,673 persons. The cost, $1.1 million. For August, sorry. Can you please provide a breakdown of the number of citizens receiving such assistance on a constituency basis? North Windward, 437. North Central Windward, 414. South Central Windward, 514. South Windward, 349. Mariaqua, 282. East St. George, 399. West St. George, 247. East Kingston, 181. Central Kingston, 261. West Kingston, 225. South Leeward, 335. Central Leeward, 368. North Leeward, 388. Northern Grenadines, 174. And the Southern Grenadines, 99.
And Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Deborah Charles, commends the government on its social safety policies. Senator Charles said SVG has a top-notch program which surpasses other Caribbean countries.
That when we speak to quality education, we must look at the holistic product that we give to our children. What is this product that we have been providing? We have provided, Mr. Speaker, our children with a social safety net that has been second to none in the Caribbean. And I say that from visiting other countries and having looked at what they give to their children in relation to what we have.
The government senator also had high praise for other programs such as the book loan scheme, which provides students with hundreds of dollars worth in books for just $50.
We have a school feeding program that we provide for our children on a daily basis, 50 cents in some cases, in a very few cases, $1, in which our children are given a balanced meal. And we know that it's balanced because we have the input of the Ministry of Health in their nutritionists also giving advice as to the way these meals would be prepared. We have a book loan scheme, Mr. Speaker, that provides books to the tune sometimes of $400 or $500 for our students, but they only pay $50. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of National Mobilization also assists in this regard, in that they provide our students with uniforms, meals, etc., to ensure that they are present on a daily basis at school.
The importance of utilizing information technology in business was highlighted by businessman Maurice John. The web application technology builder, who is speaking on youth entrepreneurship on NBC Radio, said to get ahead in business, one should utilize the benefits of technology.
About 2 years ago, I decided, I looked at the real estate market, and I said that at a ground level, real estate is simply showing people what they want, and IT bridged that gap for me in a sense where IT allows me to show in an effective way and also allows me to expose available properties to persons. So I looked at it from an IT standpoint, and any problem in business that I would think about, I always look at it from an IT perspective. How do I use my core skills to make this process better? So the first thing I did was to build a proper website. Then I built a mobile application, and then I use the new media marketing to push these different avenues.
Advocating the need for more local agricultural produce on the market was proprietor Jasmine Dean, who said this is one way in which a person can earn an honest living.
I never dreamt about doing soap. I never heard of even fashion to think about that, to be very honest. But the morning I woke up, I just couldn't rest. Just like I wanted curiosity to find out how was this thing made, because it looks so interesting, something natural on your skin. And then I did my research a bit, and then for the week I did a soap, which I did, and then I did the coconut one first, and I just had it on my kitchen table, and my friends from church came by. I gave them peace and they loved it, and then they started sharing it with their co-workers. And then the other soap that I started reading, that I could incorporate different plants. So a friend of mine told me about, who is into plants and so on, about the rain tree, which we call shade bush tree, glory cedar, and I did the other one like that. After I did that, I started giving them to friends, and they loved it. They wanted to order, just simple like that, not really thinking I'm going to be owning a store.
The 5th annual Idea and Innovation Competition, commonly known as the I-Square competition, will be launched here tomorrow by the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC. This year's competition has been restructured and will comprise of 2 categories, a secondary and open category. The second category will cater for participants attending secondary schools, while the open category will cater for entries from persons who are under 35 years of age. Students attending tertiary institutions and those who are participating in the secondary category of the competition can also participate in the open category. Tomorrow's launching event will take place at the Glen campus of the SVG Community College from 1 p.m. Ulrich Hansen, a 26-year-old laborer of Roseau, was arrested and charged for, when not at your place of abode, had in his possession 1 black face mask, a yellow and black pliers, a yellow and brown screwdriver, and brown handle knife for use in the course of theft at Kingston on Monday. Also, Grenville Harry, a 55-year-old laborer of Glen, was arrested and charged for, when not at your place of abode, had in his possession 1 black face mask, 1 pair of surgical gloves, an orange handle scissors, and a long-sleeve navy blue jersey for use in the course of theft at Kingston on Monday. Both accused men appeared at a serious offences court today. They pleaded guilty and were sentenced to 6 months behind bars.